So girls, my dad is super quotable, and one of his favorites that I think everybody in my family knows is, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
Amen.
Oh, I would be in so much trouble.
Oh, you'd be in the doghouse with Grandpa Dan big time.
Oh, wow.
I'm with Grandpa Dan.
You know, how do you improve your time management? And we've got this interesting system from Victus.
Yes, that I've been digging into and loving. I'm so excited about this system, you guys. The Victus study skill system. Now, there's kind of a running joke, I think, too, about homeschoolers. A lot of us run late. Amber, you're the exception to the rule, but I bet some people out there can relate to this. I think oftentimes, you know, we're late going into church, we're late showing up for whatever it is. So I felt like when I read this, oh yeah, I need this too.
Maybe a family study.
A family thing. You can do this as a family.
Yeah.
So this is a study skill system, but it's really so much more than a study skill system. It helps you to learn to just live life differently. So Victus means way of life in Latin, and the goal of it is to help you to make this system kind of a way of life. So
it sounds complicated and serious.
Is
it hard?
Because of the word system. No, that's what's so great. It's so simple. It really comes down to 3 foundational cornerstones, and you find these at every level of the program. So all the way from primary grades, and this is just the little tiny booklet for the younger kids, you know, first to second grade, all the way up to college. So these 3 foundational cornerstones that you are going to go through with your kids and ask yourself is, where am I now? And so as we ask that, we look at some checklists to kind of define, like, well, where am I with my study skills? Where am I with...
And be honest, be brutal.
And be honest, because we have a tendency to be like, I think I'm fine.
I'm fine.
So really helping the kids to look at a list, a checklist that's going to show them, where do I spend my time, right? Is a lot of my time going to this when I'm saying that this is what's really important?
Right.
So we look at where we are now, then we look at where we want to be. And that's an exciting one, because that's where we're letting the kids speak into what's important to them.
Right.
What are the goals and priorities that you have? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years?
Right.
And, you know, of course, when they're little, they're going to be answering.
Next week, yeah.
I want to be, you know, who knows?
I want to be an astronaut.
Right,
outside
exactly.
playing.
So
I want to be a teeter-totter.
So as they get older, of course, there's going to be a lot more detail in these books to help them really step by step walk through, where am I now? Where do I want to be? And then how do I get there?
So that's number 3.
That's number 3.
Yeah.
That sounds
I
like
like this step.
the most serious one is that breaking down the process.
And yet it's so exciting because she, the author does it in such a great way that it's just page by page, you're kind of working through.
Yeah.
Oh, this really doesn't have to be that hard for me to get from point A to point B, because I am getting some great study tools. I'm getting some great life skills. I'm learning time management. I'm learning how to stay organized. Let me look some of the other things. Oh, motivation. I think that's something that as moms, we see sometimes that concerns us is my kids don't seem that motivated.
I say it's the lack of motivation.
Right.
Here's a neat page from the elementary.
My learning strengths. This is really fun. So the kids get to assess their strengths and how they learn best. And so they're going to learn, am I more of an auditory learner? Do I need to hear it? Do I like the songs? And do I like to say things out loud to help me remember it? Am I more of a kinesthetic learner? Do I need to be up walking and pacing while I'm looking at my flashcards or reading my book?
Yeah.
And those are things that are so important. And sometimes as parents, we miss that with our kids, right?
Sure.
Most classrooms are designed for a visual learner.
Yeah.
It's reading, writing, it's demonstrating.
So it's easy to fall through the cracks. But this really helps you to tap into that and find out what is your learning strength, and now let's capitalize on that. So let's make some goals and priorities centered around what you want to accomplish, and we're going to bring those into play, and we're going to make a plan. It's really exciting.
And with the little kids, when you're not quite sure what their learning style is, a multi-sensory program is ideal.
Right.
Because you're using all of these
Little diagnostic tool.
Yeah, and then you
Right.
can kind of, I've got a visual learner here. I've got a
You're kind of
hands-on,
learning
I've got,
what makes them tick.
and then you can even customize their curriculum
Right.
to their style
Yep.
as they grow.
It's a wonderful perk of being a homeschooler, is being able to do that, right?
Well, and that
love that.
metacognition, that self-awareness of how you learn, that's a life skill
Yes.
along
Yeah.
with this. So
Right.
this looks So show me the pieces, would you?
Okay.
Because I want to know how this all goes together.
And when I first saw this, you know what I thought of is I was looking through it and I got excited because it reminded me back to a day, way back when I was in college, long time ago, and I was studying, and my now husband, was studying for his test, and I was like, oh, let me help you. What do you need to do? Do you want to make flashcards? Do you want to highlight? And he was like, oh, I don't know how to do any of that. And I said, well, how do you study? And he was like, I just look at the pages. And I was
you mean
like,
that doesn't work?
I just sleep with my book.
like osmosis, it's just going to flow in or something. And I realized, we often tell people to go study. We tell our kids,
just
go
go
study.
study.
And they're thinking, well, I reread it, but it didn't really help. And then they get frustrated because they don't know how to study or what we want from them. So this is a system that helps your kids to have measurable goals that are reasonable for their age level, and it helps them to know step by step, how can I get there? How can I be successful? And we give them tools to use, so we're not just telling them, go study, you'll be fine, look at the page, figure it out.
Right.
They're literally going to learn how to take notes in a way that fits your
learning style.
learning. Okay.
Right.
And a parent may find out their learning style in the process.
Oh my goodness, we learn so much as we go along with our kids,
Right.
don't we?
Don't
Which is
we?
so exciting.
Yeah.
But yes, so overall, I think it's a wonderful program to do even over the summer when you are starting to think about the school year and you're thinking, what are some things we could kind of do? We don't want to do too much over the summer, maybe, but we can do some things to kind of prime the pump. This would be a great thing because it's only 5 one-hour sessions to teach. Now, if you have a younger kid, you might want to break that down and do maybe 10 sessions of like half hour, or even maybe even 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something
Well,
like
and
that.
that gives them time to practice whatever that skill was.
Yes.
So I see
Yeah.
one teacher book.
One teacher book, so this provides the course framework for every level of the program.
see what that looks
and
like.
so no matter what level you're doing, there's 4 workbooks. You're gonna have the same teacher book. The only little thing to know about that is that if you're doing the younger levels, so that would be the primary and elementary levels, then you will also need to get this little teacher supplement.
So you need both.
Yeah, because that's going to help you really dial it into the younger kids and make sure that you're really helping them at their level.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for the like upper elementary and the middles, is that the book you have there?
I think I have the student book here. Student workbook.
So you've got the pages on deciding your goals and priorities, making a mission statement. And I love this because she helps as the kids are thinking through, what are my goals? Where do I want to be? They're making measurable goals. They're making priorities, and they're saying, well, I'm saying this is what's important, but here's how I'm spending my time. Does it measure up?
Right.
Oh, maybe it
Little
doesn't.
disconnect.
Maybe I need a little bit of adjustment there.
Right.
So I feel like it's a great tool to put in mom and dad's hands to use with kids to help them feel like I've got a system. I know that I can accomplish my goals and I can feel good about it.
So this one here is where most people are going to jump in because there's a point where it becomes apparent that the study skills are not
Not there.
working
And not working, yes.
or invisible.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be a good jump in. And then the college one is really dialed in for the kids finishing high school who are going
Really
into college.
going to help you make sure that you are solid before you move on to college. Because as we all know, you get to college and boy, everything comes at you hard and fast. And if you don't have study skills by that point, it's a lot harder.
It's easy to get
In
upside
fact,
down.
there was a statistic we heard recently, and it was, I believe, that if you take a study skills class, your chances of staying in college a second year are 60% higher. Wow. So, I mean, that alone just tells us it is an important thing. If you've got those skills, you're going to be able to just glide through things that other kids are really struggling with that first year of college.
Well, in that first year of college, they don't have mom
On
keeping
them
them
saying,
on track.
you got to get the, you got
And
to study
so
for this.
it really
right?
shows up, I think, that freshman year of college.
Definitely.
If they have obtained the life skill of self-discipline and scheduling.
Right.
Because this is great
Yes.
for studying, but it's also great for planning your life.
Speaking of
All of those
planning,
things. Yeah, speaking of planning.
Amber's got
We've
some
got
new planners.
something else cool to look at today.
Yeah.
I love a good planner, and so we have the opportunity to plan our days however we want as a homeschool mom.
Yeah.
And whether that looks like spread out day by day or for the week, having the goals to get through your books, looking at the year and planning how am I going to get to this mile marker.
Right.
Especially if your curriculum doesn't lay it out for you. So it is helpful to have a planner as a teacher,
definitely,
and then
yeah.
for your kids to have a planner too.
Yep.
So where you can pass on to them to the opportunity to be independent.
So this is the teacher
And-
one. This is they're both teacher
both
planners.
teacher
okay.
ones.
Yeah, these are both teachers, and
From Teacher
I like
Created.
how it showed a month at a time, and then you also have a week
The weekly.
at a time. Because
Yep.
I could see a parent using like a different colored pen
Yeah, for each
for
student.
each student,
Yeah.
and kind of seeing
Yeah.
where everybody's at.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
always thought there's two approaches to lesson planning. Well, I mean, there's a cajillion,
Uh-huh.
but one is to plot where you're going, and another is to plot where you left off that day, so you know where to pick up tomorrow.
Right.
And if you go to our website, you're going to see dated and undated.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
So many opportunities, so many different varieties. Our mothers love to go and look at our planners.
Yeah.
And dated means that it is set for the year. And
Like a
undated,
2024, 2025 school
yeah,
year.
and once that's over, it's over.
Right.
But the undated, you can fill in and use whenever. So
It's a little more flexible, especially maybe for year-round planners or.
Right.
You know.
And this one happens to have some cute
I
stickers.
know, I
Those
do
are
like the
so
stickers.
cute.
Is it me?
So it's a
Am
pretty
I the
plain-
problem?
It's a pretty plain planner, but the stickers can help you liven it up. And like you said,
Yeah.
some color coding.
It's your aesthetic.
Very
So,
cute. Very cute. Yes.
You know, we mentioned the learning styles, and not everybody knows what that is. You know where they can learn more about it, though, is we've got a video.
We do.
And with that
Yes.
video are some other definitions. If you're new to homeschooling, or if you've just wondered what is Charlotte Mason and what is classical,
All these confusing
this whole
terms. Yes.
series is really helpful. They're short and
Yeah.
sweet little videos, too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Those would be perfect.
And curriculum planning, lesson planning, links there.
You know, we were talking about doing a video on that, and if you've got some suggestions, we'd love to hear.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
fun to hear.
Moms always have great feedback.
They
for what
do.
works for them or didn't work for them.
Well, we learn so much from each other as we go along, too.
Throw us some of those nuggets on lesson planning.
Definitely.
Consultants at rainbowresource.com.
Yep.
We'd love to hear your nuggets.